Thank you for spending time with me today. Today, I'm inviting some teachings in on how to navigate challenging relationships, which seems to be a theme in the collective for many months, for many of us. There was a period within the collective where there was a lot of breaking off of connections, realizing extreme differences within the relationship and not being able to necessarily move past those things. And so there's a lot of breaking up that's been happening within relationships. Then things seem to kind of calm down a little bit, and we've been beginning to fine-tune our relationships. Now there's another surge of digging deeper into the close relationships that we do have and noticing some challenges, yet wanting to move through those challenges to strengthen the relationship. And you could be maybe at any phase of this evolution. I'm speaking more collectively in what I'm seeing within the community. So I'm talking to many of you who are realizing some differences, but just want to make it work. You want to make it work within the relationship because you see value in it. You're getting value in it. Now, I will say, I'm noticing value within a relationship could mean it is benefiting you spiritually. You are noticing growth and expansion as you work through the challenges in your relationship. And that's kind of the sweet spot we want to get to is acknowledge the challenge, yet use communication and togetherness to ultimately come into a universal understanding, to walk alongside each other. Then for another group, and this you could be experiencing both of these in different relationships, there's other relationships where we are getting value of the story that we are telling ourselves is being reinforced. So this could be a lot of codependency can come up in here. And so the value we could be receiving from a relationship is a reinforcement that of the idea that this person needs us. They need us to heal. They need us to solve their problems. They need us to show them love and compassion because nobody else in this world will. So there's the light and the shadow for us when it comes to receiving value or benefit from relationships. So that could be something off the bat that we ask ourselves is when we are facing challenge, where are we falling into within the value of the relationship? Are we seeing the relationship as a reinforcement of the trauma story that we have? You know, if we are wanting to play the role of the rescuer, was there somebody in our life in the past that we saw go through really terrible challenges that we couldn't help, you know, and so now we're wanting to help other people because then that's going to inadvertently help save this other person from our past. Were we abandoned as a child, and so we have a fear of abandoning others, and so we have this loyalty to stick around in relationships because we know what it feels like to be abandoned, and we don't ever want to put that on anybody else. So what value are we getting out of the relationship? And is it rooted in truth and unconditional love, or is it rooted in a past story and a memory that we continue to feed? And the only way to determine this is to begin to sense the reaction that we have when the other person disagrees with us, or if they don't do what we ask them to do. If we see them struggling, no matter how many times we tell them to, eat a certain way, or to not think a certain way, or to love themselves a certain way, they still keep, doing whatever it is that they're doing, and we become upset about that. So that is an indication that the value we're getting out of a relationship is rooted in a fear and a trauma. And we're going to experience a lot of up and downs. We can feel fully fulfilled when the person falls in line with how we want the outcome to be. If we are the rescuer, when this person is well and they're taking care of themselves, or they treat us a certain way, then, this is perfect, everything's going great. But then the second they step out of that storyline, all goes to hell. So beginning to look at what we are bringing to the relationship versus trying to change the other person to fit the mold that we want them to be, because we're scared to feel what we really actually need to feel, which is the pain, which is the hurt, which is the fear, which is the wounding underneath the story. So if you are feeling a trigger that has been brought about by another person's actions, I urge us all not to jump into taking action, to meeting action with action, and instead, when we notice the heart bringing about strong feelings, to pause and to listen to that. What is coming up within me that is making my body tense up, that is enhancing this anxiety that I have, that is bringing me to tears, bringing me into heartache? What is actually happening within my body right now? And taking pause and really feeling that and listening that. Never mind the other person. They can wait. They can wait for your response. These are the times when we can uncover why it is we are responding or have continued to respond the way that we were in the past. And it offers us a different way to respond this time around, where maybe the tendency for us is to get defensive. Maybe the tendency of us is to justify our actions or another person's actions. Maybe our tendency is to simply get angry at the other person, or blame ourselves for how the situation is unfolding. So not to jump right into that reaction and really feel what is coming through the heart. And when we do that, if we can sit there long enough, and this is a practice, you may not get there right away. You may come into a full-blown, tears and grief and all the feelings, and then maybe it'll pass through. But, in my experience, this is a process. This is a process of noticing the triggers, going into the heart, loving the one within, and really listening to what's going on. And then eventually, over time, what we're going to experience is because we're meeting ourselves with love. We're meeting the wounded heart with love. We're meeting that inner child with love. Whereas in the past, we didn't feel that at the time. If a parent left when we were a child, we felt unloved in that moment, whether it was something that we witnessed, the lack of love, maybe for the opposite parent, or we felt unloved because somebody left, or if somebody abused us, we felt unloved in that time, or witnessing abuse. So when we go into the heart and feel those feelings, what we're doing is we're going back in time and meeting that inner child with love. We're reestablishing the story and changing the timeline from one that is tragedy and loss to one that, even in this discomfort, even in this confusion, love is present. So now take us to the present moment when we are triggered. The more we practice going into the heart and pouring that love in, then we will have a better chance of, when somebody has an action that we are triggered by, remembering, oh, discomfort. I can still experience love in that discomfort. There's a softening that takes place. Then we're able to hear ourselves in that moment. This is what I'm feeling in response to this person saying this thing or doing this action. We learn to listen to ourselves, and then we're able to listen to other people. So maybe the person who you're struggling with is trying to tell you something. They're trying to communicate to you. They may not have the tools to say what they need to say calmly or without anger or without tears, but they're saying something beneath the surface. And when we are able to fully listen to ourselves and understand our reactions, then that's done and gone, and we can fully be present with the other person, really working to understand what they are trying to say. And all conflict is a misunderstanding. That's all it is. We all have the same needs. We want to feel loved. We want to feel valued. We want to be safe. We want to have purpose. Those are the four needs that we all have. And everything comes back to that. So notice this. This has kind of been a fun game that I've played in my relationships, is coming to the understanding of when there's two people arguing. I had this example from a session this week, and they described it so perfectly, where it feels like we're talking, but we're not speaking the same language, or they're talking over here and I'm talking over here, and it's just not meeting. There's no connection there, which means there's two stories going on, and the two people are reflecting something differently back to themselves. So it's like we're watching two different episodes or two different shows, sitcoms, at the same time. One story's going on over here, another story's going on over there. You can try to talk to the person about the other story, but they won't get it. They won't get it. So when we have a disagreement, when there's conflict, that means that there's a lack of understanding within the relationship, and we can't control how the other person is navigating this discomfort, how they're navigating this challenge. But what we can do is understand ourselves better, so that way when the other person is talking to us, trying to communicate to us what their struggle is, what their wounding is, we're able to see past the anger. Maybe it's not even anger. Maybe how many times do we catch ourselves saying, I don't know how I feel. I don't know why I do this or don't do that, and we can be a supportive system there where they know with us, no matter the struggle that they have somebody that is meeting them with love, because we understand the struggle that comes with healing our wounds. And when we can get beyond the pain of the past and replenish love into all of those spaces, then that is the time when we can fully support another person in their pain. Before that, and I talk about this in our Reiki trainings, this is why we have to continue healing as healing facilitators, and it doesn't stop. It continues. In a lot of ways, if we let it, it becomes more and more intense because we've committed to the path of healing. There's no more bypassing. We go right into it. So the more we indulge in that past and dig into the muck of our past, the more we're able to have compassion for all beings. So regardless of their reactions, regardless of what we're seeing on TV right now, or what we're witnessing, or if somebody's complaining to us about somebody in their life, we don't go in this defensive mode of how could this person do this to my friend? We begin to see the big picture that we're all hurting. We're all hurting. We all want to feel loved, and we're not quite there yet. So pour the love into yourself first. Take responsibility of your role in the conflict before even communicating to the other person how you feel. They may not even want to hear that right now, right? So understand how you feel in the situation. And then anytime you come to this person, meet them with love. And if the love's not present there, keep going into the heart, keep going into the heart, right? If you are noticing, and because the challenge is a good thing, right? Challenge is is life. That's kind of what I've been talking about in a lot of these Facebook lives is this. I think it was yesterday's recording. I think we have this false expectation that this life will become perfect, that we're going to achieve enlightenment and then everything's going to be great and Garden of Eden and everything's beautiful. Well, why be in this body if we can't embrace the challenge, if we can't embrace the process of becoming our angelic enlightened selves? We have to embrace that part of this journey. Otherwise, we are falsifying our enlightenment, right? We're pretending to be enlightened. And that's not something that I think any of us are really interested in doing, because it's not going to hold strong. And so see the challenge within your relationship as a blessing and work with it. Now I will say, if you have gone through all of the work and you feel at peace with this other person and you aren't able to experience any growth within the relationship through conversation, working together, then that may be an indication that this relationship has run its course and there's other relationships that you can begin to put more energy into. And so you can look at it. We say, like, we have to fill our cup full first, right? We talk about the cup analogy. So if you have so much water in a glass and you pour all of that energy, all of that water into one relationship, trying to make it work, well, there's other people out here that are thirsty. They want your presence, they want to work, and they're willing to work alongside of you to co-create the healing experience. So if you dump all of your energy into one relationship trying to make it work, you're going to become exhausted. Right? Like, do you feel that in your relationships? It's like, oh man, if they only did this, or if this was this way, and it's just forcing something into creation that's complete. It's a congratulations, you've evolved. And so look for the relationships and pour energy into the relationships that match your commitment to your evolution. That's not to say you need to dismiss the relationships where there's, no connection or anything like that. Keep your parents in your life, keep your siblings in your life, keep certain friends in your life if you feel that there's a potential for growth, if you're noticing you enjoy the relationship. If you're not enjoying it, if there's no growth, consider looking at pouring more energy into other relationships. And when you start to pour your energy into other relationships that bear fruit, it will be easier to start to level the playing field and to build your tribe. You'll begin to automatically emphasize the relationships that are in support of your growth and your evolution, the relationships where the other people are willing to communicate compassionately. Doesn't mean that there's no challenge. However, through the challenge, you're able to learn from each other. There's co-creation is the word here. If you're not able to co-create, then it may be time to start to shift your energy into other relationships and then see what happens. Release this need to micromanage your relationships and just let God put people in your lives that are best for you, relationships that you enjoy, and relationships that are supportive of your spiritual evolution. Let me know your thoughts on this. This is kind of like lots packed in here. I appreciate everybody, those of you who have reached out and have shared your struggles, because it's helped me tune into perhaps what you want to hear as I go live and reach you all in this way. So thank you for letting me know what's going on in your lives, your struggle. I enjoy praying for you all and knowing what to pray for. I pray for you anyways, but now I know what to pray for. So please continue to reach out to me. Any comments that you have, words of encouragement. Let's encourage each other. There's so many of us are struggling right now. So words of encouragement in the comments can be really, really helpful, a simple way to support the community. You know, asking for prayers in the comments can be another way. Or if you have any questions, or if there's something specific you're struggling that you want myself or anybody else within the community to record a video on, or create a workshop on, you know, where that's how we do here at OP. We respond to the needs of the community. So we are here walking alongside of you, and no other place I'd rather be. Love you all.